and welcome to SmallCapPower. I'm here with Dan Mitre, CEO and Managing Partner at New Wave Esports, a competitive gaming and esports investment company. We're going to talk about the latest developments at New Wave and how to invest in the esports industry. Dan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So October was a big month at New Wave. You recently got listed at the CSE. Talk to us about that and what do you hope to achieve with that?
Yeah, so we listed on the CSE under the news ticker NWES as of October 28th. We've seen some great volume come through and some good reception with the public. So this allows us to bring the portfolio that we've built so far, and we're very proud of it. We have about 5 different investments to the public. So this is the first time that the public can invest in esports. So yes, we do have a feather in the cap. We're the first esports investment company to be listed publicly and allow the community that fuels esports to invest their dollars into our portfolio and contribute to the esports industry that we're all passionate about.
Before we come to your investment strategy, your 2 core pillars at New Wave is about innovation and being led by purpose. What do you mean by that mission statement?
Yeah, so we're always looking to innovate the tech industry, the esports and the gaming industries as well, and we look for specific companies that are pushing that edge. And there's a lot of great companies out there that have unique products that connect to gamers in a new way. And we know that gaming is a lifestyle first. It's not just a product that's consumed. Gamers latch on to games because they like the lifestyle it brings to their communities and enriches their lives. And we do this with purpose. We do everything with purpose. We have a specific goal in mind, whether it's elevating teams, elevating events and activations. We'll dive a bit more into the verticals that we invest in, but every single thing has a purpose with the community in mind. But also, obviously, we have our investors and shareholders that we need to appease. So it's all very much a family affair. And we make sure that we drive good value for every single step that we do within public markets.
Now, the New Wave portfolio is made up of 4 sectors. Take us through those and what made you diversify into these?
Yeah, so we invest in 4 different verticals within esports, and we call that the esports ecosystem because each one of these verticals are very much reliant on each other to be successful. The first one is teams and organizations. So this is obviously the big headlines coming out. You've got 100 Thieves out there raising $30-40 million with Drake, but you also have all these teams that are competing at a global level and winning great prize purses. So you have like Lazarus is a team that we invested in with the organization Tidal, and they went and competed in the Fortnite World Cup, took home $3.5 million. That put them on the map. No one knew a lot of people knew who Lazarus was in Canada, but globally no one knew who they were until after that. So that inherently had some great media exposure behind it, but certainly put them on the map, and now they have a great community behind them. So we also invest in events and activations. So this is the raw, visceral feel of esports, whether you're going to an arena, or you're going to a clubhouse, or you're going to a high school club program. We invested in a company called Even Matchup Gaming, which is right here in the backyard of Toronto, led by Toronto Joe. He brings Super Smash Brothers tournaments to the scene here in Toronto and the tri-state area. Mm-hmm. And they're officially partnered with Nintendo. They've got great non-endemic sponsorship as well. But they run about 80 events a year, weekly and monthly, that lead up to 2 majors, the Let's Make Moves and Get On My Level. And this is just incredible events where people come out and they compete in Super Smash Brothers, and they play Tekken 7 and other fighting games. We also invest in platforms and networks. So if I'm a gamer and I don't have access to an esports scene in my local town, or maybe I'm not good enough to compete professionally, or I want to continue playing competitively from the comfort of my own home, I connect online in some sort of fashion. Online tournaments, wage betting platforms, gambling platforms, among a whole host of other online platforms that we invest in. So a company we invest in is Playline. Playline runs a daily fantasy sports betting platform available on iOS, web, and Android, and they have about 270,000 users to date. They have a NASCAR collaboration where they're at every NASCAR race. You can bet on the NASCAR races themselves, and they just finished up an NFL and NBA partnership, which they saw just over $1 million in gross gameplay fees. Right. So they're killing it over there, and they're bringing in an esports component very soon. And then lastly, we invest in Tech and Tools, and Tech and Tools is the backbone of the esports industry. So data insights, business intelligence, any way that we can better understand our audiences to make better experiences for them. Because like I said, gaming is a lifestyle. And so we're developing some tools with the company we acquired called Thunderbolts, and they're based out of LA. They had a background in app development. And now they've retooled and repurposed their team in order to make and conceptualize some tools for esports. And so we'll start rolling those out in B2B client fashions or some B2C components.
Which among these four verticals do you see having the most demand and a lot of latent growth potential?
Yeah, I think it depends on how you look at the revenue streams and some of the profitability. Right now, the team aspect is all really has that inherent media value. When teams trade players, or you have big celebrity that's coming in with big capital, it makes headlines, and that headline, it has a value on it, a dollar value on it. And so teams certainly generate the biggest top line revenue, especially teams that are set up with a content programming nucleus in mind, where they can create audiences, and audiences are growing, and then they sell that audience impression out to sponsorships. That's that traditional kind of sports model, and so teams are very much leading on that front. But we're starting to see a lot more profitability in the platforms and networks area as well. So there may be some capital that comes in to create a platform. Once you have that developed, then you can monetize on a big user base, anywhere from 100,000 or 270,000 like Playline, on upwards to millions of users that may register on your platform.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about there being a bubble in the esports industry. Do you agree with that view? And how do you, as an esports investment company, then convince the investor about your resilience and durability?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm always asked, will this pop? Look, gaming has been around for 40 plus years, and the gaming industry at large is very much resilient. It's recession proof. Back in 2008, we saw the economic downturn in the U.S. The gaming industry did even better, because value, dollar for dollar, when you buy a game, you get more hours out of a game than going to, say, an amusement park or to the movies. And esports is a function within gaming. Ever since the dawn of time of gaming, we've always wanted to see other people play better. I remember going to an arcade and seeing someone play Street Fighter way better than I ever could. And that was entertainment. I loved that. I always came back to see that guy compete and beat the snot out of everybody else in the arcade. And now we see that now, in 2019 in a digital fashion with influencers that are streaming on Twitch and Mixer and other platforms. We want to see other people play games and play them competitively, because either we're looking at the strategy behind that and how we can get better, or we just find the entertainment value of someone creaming someone else. So economically speaking, esports is still growing, especially here in North America. We have Asia that's 20 years ahead of us, and it's a sustainable model out there. We have Europe that's about 10 years ahead of us with the collegiate scenes, and UK and Germany leading those fronts and have seen some profitability. And now we're coming in as an economic powerhouse, and the rest of the world is saying, what can North America do with esports? Yeah. We have big celebrities, we have big companies that are latching on here. So, summarize there, is esports a bubble that'll pop? No, it's still growing. So now's the time to get into the ground level.
And lastly, now that you're listed on the CAC and NWES, what's your message to investors?
Yeah, so we are now public. We've built a great portfolio, and we're very excited about that. We're very proud of that, but we're not stopping there. So now that we're public under news ticker NWES on the CSE, the public can get involved and invest in the esports industry that we're passionate about. So as we go forward, we'll continue growing our portfolio. We'll bring in a couple more key holdings investments, and then bring in our operator services to help grow those companies, but also bring in strong acquisitions. And that's where the top line revenues will contribute to New Wave and help with our valuation and push our stock price forward. And then we just recently announced that we have an Asian business development unit led up by Jarrett Hassoun, who is leading very much the Asian front. There's a lot of great deal flow, a great economy out there in esports, and we need to tap into that region in order to be successful. And then we're also starting New Wave Europe. So now we'll have a truly global footprint, because esports is a global affair, and New Wave needs to be global as well.
Amazing. Dan, wish you all the best with New Wave. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.